Well, welcome everyone. It's time for another video. This time I thought I would show off from my DVD collection some of the documentaries that I have. Because I was looking at them and I got some pretty killer ones. So I thought you guys might enjoy that, all you horror fans out there. We'll go down the line from this stack. Here we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a family portrait revisited. It's got interviews with the cast, and it's a really good documentary. Personally, the only good Texas Chainsaw is the first one. You know, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. I hate the second one. I think it's some of the most bad acting. Dennis Hopper is even pathetic in it, man. Oh, God. But I kind of do like part 3, Leatherface, by Jeff Burr, the director. And after that, all these sequels and prequels, who gives a fuck? You know, you should have stopped after 1. Then we have, right here, Lon Chaney, Man of Mystery. My hero, my #1 horror hero, Lon Chaney Sr. And this has like a little bit of home movies and rare stuff of him on different sets. And yeah, Lon Chaney Jr., his real name is Creighton Toll Chaney. Universal wanted to capitalize on Lon after he died. And that always bothered Creighton. No wonder he died an alcoholic. That's true. But he was awesome as well. Not as awesome as his dad, but hey. Then what do we got here? Disc-O Teen. With your host, Zachary. Yes, the old horror host, Zachary. This is great. It's like American Bandstand. Except he's playing the Dick Clark part. Well, I couldn't resist picking this one up. Yeah. Nothing fancy on the back. Okay, then we have George Romero, Document of the Dead. It's about the making of Dawn of the Dead. Showing, them doing the special effects and stuff like that. And interviews, of course. It's a great documentary. Then we have, hey, speaking of Universal, Jack Pierce. The #1 makeup man after Lon died at Universal. This DVD is pretty cool. I mean, for what it is, it's this guy acting. He's putting on like a one-man play, acting and telling the story about Jack Pierce, which is kind of cool. I actually like this DVD. I like it. And then, of course, we'll travel to Italy for my #1 favorite horror director, Lucio Fulchi. Here's the new documentary, Fulci for Fake. It's in Italian, but like I care. It's got all kinds of interviews with all kinds of great people. Lon's daughters are in it. Antonella's in it. She's only in it for like a minute or so. And then his other daughter, Camelia, I think, she's interviewed in it a lot. And all kinds of great stuff. If you're into Italian horror, yeah. Speaking of Lucio Fulci, this one's a rare one. Para. Lucio Fulci Remembered, Volume 1. The only volume that ever came out. This is really cool. It's got interviews, of course, with people that worked with him, including the actors, telling stories. It's a really long DVD, like really long. But it's fucking awesome. Maybe watch it in increments. Alright, and recently added to my collection, Herschel Gordon Lewis, the godfather of gore. Yes, the man who gave us the very first gore film, Blood Feast, which is actually the name of my horror magazine I used to do, Blood Feast Incorporated. And this DVD I have is really cool. It's signed by Frank Henenlotter, who made the Basket Case movies and Frankenhooker and several other classics. Brain Damage, because Henenlotter directed this. It's an awesome DVD about Herschel. Okay, we're going back to Italy. We went to Florida for that one. Dario Argento's World of Horror, the first documentary on Dario, which I think can never be topped. It's excellent. And then there's also this one, Dario Argento, An Eye for Horror. He used to, and then after opera, I don't know what happened to Dario. Mr. Let's drop a real helicopter into a movie theater decides all of a sudden he's doing CGI. That disappointed me when I saw Dario Argento's Dracula. I was like, fuck this shit. Alright. Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors. This DVD's pretty cool. It interviews some guests that were there, people, some vendors too as well, special effects artists, and they show they had a film contest, and my favorite film that I'd love to watch it if it's ever available. You can't do that to me. I'm Rick Blazin. Excellent, excellent stuff. I don't think that film won, but Rick Blazin should have won. Alright, then we come to this guy, Robert Wise. This guy's a fucking legend. Well, let's see his non-horror movies: The Sound of Music, West Side Story, Citizen Kane, Run Silent, Run Deep, Star Trek, the motion picture, and then his horror films, The Day the Earth Stood Still, and one of the most frightening films of all time, The Haunting, and Audrey Rose, Curse of the Cat People, that he did with Val Lewton. This is an excellent documentary on Robert Weiss, American filmmaker. Fucking legend, man. How many people are even in this guy's category, and nobody probably even knows who he is. Alright, speaking of the Fangoria DVDs from the 80s, Scream Greats, Tom Savini shows us how he did all kinds of special effects in the movies. Friday the 13th, Martin, Death Dream, when he worked with Bob Clark. Scream Greats, Volume 1. Alright, we're getting through this. Of course, the man who created the horror magazine, Forrest J. Ackerman, Uncle Forey to us fans. Famous Monsters of Filmland. Hooray for Horrorwood. All kinds of neat stuff on here. It's got special guest appearances by Ray Bradbury, Zachary, and even Robert Englund. Yeah. And while we're talking about Uncle Forey, famous monster. I love this man. Any horror fan that knows about famous monsters loves this man. We wouldn't even have had Gore Zone today, or Deep Red if it wasn't for Uncle Forey. Okay, we got can't read that. Well, anyway, Hammer Films, the great studio from England. Oh, is that Britain? How do they like your Saget? In person, Christopher Lee, Freddie Francis, the director, Ingrid Pitt, swing. Val Guest, Jimmy Sangster, Carolyn Monroe, Veronica Carlson. I got to meet Veronica. Had her sign my picture from Dracula's, or Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. That was pretty cool. She's really old now, but I still told her that she's one of the most beautiful women in the world, because she was. Alright, and speaking of Hammer, Peter Cushing. This is class. Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. This is top-notch class of horror. Unbeatable. Where are people like that nowadays? And the last one, I got this from the library, so it says Cleveland Public Library, so forth and so on. But I got this 100 Years of Horror, hosted by Christopher Lee, where he goes and he talks about vampire movies from the silent days up until, you know, whenever they did this, the 80s, I guess. And different segments on werewolves and things like that, ghosts. That's an awesome DVD. And that, my friends, is my documentary section. I thought you would find it cool, because I'm even in awe that I even have a couple of those, some of those. So, hey, thanks for being here. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be getting better. I'm getting software to do editing, and this show is going to be great. I got interviews already lined up, so it's just a matter of time. Yeah, boy. And I need a theme song. I'm just going to, I don't know what to do. Anyway, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time. See you now.